Oh my gosh, this is so intimidating. So this is the proposed location of the shed right here. All I want for Christmas. We lost a couple shingles, so we could do 2 outlets here. Look at how big this weed is. It's so deep. That's what she said. This is probably going to be like my storage desk. This has been such a long time in the making. Well, hello everybody. It is very bright, but also very overcast today, which is doing weird things to my face. But anyways, we are heading on our way right now to City Hall, where Ryan and I, Ryan's my husband, by the way, are going to put in an application to, it's called a, what is it called? I don't even remember. A variance application. So what that means is because we already have a detached garage, which is considered an accessory structure on our property, there's our house, there's the garage, we need to apply for this variance because in the city we're only permitted normally to have 1 accessory structure, you can call it. So we need to go put in that application, and then also at the same time we're also going to be applying for a setback relief. So what that means is that within city limits we can only build structures 10 feet away from the edge of our property, and since we want to put this shed right behind me, I'll go over there and show it to you in a second, but since we want to put it over there, we need to ask if we can build this structure 5 feet away from our property line. Otherwise we're not going to have space for the 12 by 20 shed, which is ideally what I want. Let me show it to you really quick. So here's the back side of our house. Here is the garage. And then please excuse our very overgrown grass. Just got mowed last weekend, but it's the Midwest, so it grows so fast during the summer. So this is the proposed location of the shed right here. So we have a little garden right there, which is completely overgrown. And then here's the back of the property, which we do not have a fence on, but all of that wood right there is our next door neighbors. So the shed would go sticking out back there. You can see that our property line is a little bit curved. So the shed would go back as far as it possibly could to that curve and then stick out this way. And then what I would do is I would put the door on this side right here and then maybe do like a little arbor or something. So that way our little fairy stones, which normally you can see a lot better than you can right now, will go that way to the garden underneath the arbor. And then we would have the little door right here. And then maybe I would do some sort of little greenery or flowers or something right in front of the shed right here. But that is what we are going to ask for today. So let's go ahead and go to City Hall and put in that application. First stop is Greensburg City Hall because we are here to get the application. But then we also need to go to the city courthouse so that we can pick up a warranty deed for the property. So let's get this. Never mind, the lady who does the applications just left on a break, so she'll be back in 15 minutes. So we're gonna go over to the courthouse right now, then we'll come back for this application. Although Ryan needs to leave for work in like 30 minutes, so I don't know that we're gonna have time to pick this up today. We shall see. Look at how cute our county courthouse is. And this is our square, the Greensburg Square. One day I will love to own one of these little shops and turn it into a brick and mortar yarn shop, crochet, hangout spot. They are repairing the roads over here. Oh, fun fact for you, Greensburg is known as Tree City because of this tower right here. We're on the other side of it, so you can't see it, but we have a tree growing out of the clock tower here. And the theory behind that is because when it was being built in the early 1800s, a bird flew by and dropped some seeds in there. And we have just had a tree growing out of the clock tower ever since. I'll put a picture of it in here. They're repairing the roads here, and it's really cool because they're finding a bunch of underground tunnels and stuff. because this square has been around since 18 something. Well, there's a sign that says 1852 for the courthouse. We've actually never been in here before. Why do I feel like it's going to be a lot less grand on the inside? Okay, I can't bring my phone in here, so we'll see you on the other side. Okay, we got our warranty deed, and then they also gave us some things that we need for the permitting, apparently. We don't need that yet, though, because we need to get this application approved that we're picking up today. So we're going to need to take the application home, fill it out, and then I need to somehow mock up where the structure is going to go. She said I could just do a doodle of it. It doesn't need to be like, you know, super architectural schematics or anything like that, just to show the council where it will be going. And then we have to wait until early October where we're going to have a hearing and go before the council and explain what it is that we're doing, and then they will tell us whether or not we are allowed to do it. And then after that, if they say that we're allowed to build this structure on our property, then we will go through the permitting, which is going to take another 5 to 7 days. So this is going to be a few months process, which is why I am recording it from start to finish. Also, that is where I got this tattoo done, right there. Okay, so it's been a few days. It is now August 14th, I believe. And Ryan and I came out here the other day and measured this officially. So according to the city, we need to go 10 feet from the back of the property line and 10 feet from the side property line. However, as I mentioned, one thing that we are requesting is a forgiveness, putting it 5 feet to the property line instead of the 10 feet away. 10 feet this way is definitely going to work out because we have this curvature in the grass right here. We will not put the actual structure until pretty much right in line with where it flattens out right there. Oh, and look at this. It's an old-fashioned clothing line. The other one is over there. And yeah, it's been here since the house was built in the 1900s. And look at the sunflowers that they bloom naturally and wildly in the summer here in Indiana. And then in terms of width, 12 feet is going to be plenty to go right out pretty much until this line right here where the landscaping is done. So it's still TBD whether or not we want to rip out these bushes or just leave them as like a little alleyway in between so that we're not getting as many weeds and critters and stuff going in between the buildings. And then it will come out to about right here where I am standing. And then I'm thinking right here we'll do like a little arbor or something, and then continue our little fairy stones, which you can hardly see right now because the grass is so overgrown, back this way to the garden, which, it's like the jungle in here. Look at how big this weed is. So yeah, we're definitely going to need to hire a landscaper to come and level this so that we can put down a slab of either concrete or gravel, still TBD. But before any of that can happen, we of course need to submit the application to the city to go to the hearing and make sure that we can actually even build this thing. So tonight I am going to work on doing a mock-up of what this shed structure is going to look like in conjunction with the house, as well as the garage over here. And I'm going to do that the only way that professionals do it. I'm going to build it in Sims. So here we are in The Sims 4. This is actually voiceover, Katie. So the first thing that I did was just lay out our existing structures. So the house off to the right with that little jet out, that's actually our laundry room and the back entry door there. And then off to the left is the garage where I just put a bunch of little doors to, you know, kind of represent the garage doors. And then of course we needed to figure out where the shed was going to go. Fortunately, each square in the Sims equates to about 2 feet in real life. There's great debate amongst the Simmers how much room this actually equates to in real life. But if you see those little grid squares on the ground as I'm building, in my mind as I'm building this, I am thinking that each of those is about 2 feet. So going by that logic, I went ahead and laid out the shed being 12 feet in width by 20 feet in length. This is the size shed that we are putting on the application to apply to the city to get the variance. So for the exterior, we don't want to do too much landscaping, at least right now, because landscaping is a huge expense. And as the baby gets older, we might want some things that we don't currently have, but we don't really want to pay to have fancy landscaping done when, you know, in 5 years, Celeste is going to want like a slip and slide or something like that in the backyard. So for right now, we're just going to work with what we have and just reconfigure a tad. So on the left side of the garage, as well as wrapping around the back, we have these giant bushes, which you saw in the video earlier, as well as on the side of the house on that laundry room along that wall, we have bushes as well. And everything in our yard right now is overgrown because, as I've mentioned, we live in the Midwest and it rains so much here during summertime and springtime. Things just grow so wild and fast. So the company that we're going through to build this shed, which I'm sure I'll talk more about later in this video, it allows us to essentially play The Sims on their website, and we can choose precisely where we want the electrical outlets to go, the switches, the doors, the windows. And in this build that I am talking with them about getting, it comes with 4 windows, as well as a door that looks similar to the one that I am putting in on my little mock-up here. It has that little window up top, and I believe it's like a 6-pane window, so you know it looks like it's 6 little tiny windows within the one big one. Oh, I guess right now I should mention that none of the furnishings that you see here in this little mock-up are anywhere close to what they're going to be in real life. I was just mostly going for scale here, just to kind of figure out what layout we wanted. But anywho, for the exterior, we already have these little lanterns that are solar powered, and then they light the way up to our porch. Most of them are broken because we've had them for years, so they need to be replaced. So we'll probably get some fresh ones, and those are not too expensive. I want to say we pay like $40 for a pack of 8 of them. Might have even been 10 of them a few years ago. So we're going to replace those. And then I think that it would be really neat to do like a flagstone. So have the grass grow in between the stones, but compact the stones a lot more than where we have our stones right now that you can barely see because the grass has overtaken them. And my mom is really into landscaping and loves doing things like this. She actually just finished landscaping her own backyard and it looks phenomenal. But she has offered to help us with all of this stuff. So getting flagstone and laying this down is easily something that we can do as a family and not have to hire a landscaper or a landscape contractor for. But I do need some sort of solid foundation to walk from the back of the house to the shed, especially during the winter time when we have lots of snow, feet and feet of snow. Having solid ground to walk on would just be nice. Plus, we would also have a place to shovel instead of just shoveling the grass. So I figured that it would be really pretty if we put like an arbor or some sort of greenery archway. That's what I put in the game here because this is all I could find in build mode that kind of represented my vision, but kitty cornered between the house and the shed to kind of make it look like it's connected and an extension of the house instead of just a random like giant box that is off to the side. And then it would be kitty cornered and we would put those little fairy stones going back through there over to the garden and then off to that side of the house too, which we never access. There's just lots of grass over there. There's nothing super exciting. Actually, that would be a good place for a slip and slide. I'll put a picture up right now of the still image of what the full exterior looks like. This is actually what I'm going to be submitting to the city so that they can see, you know, the vision. And I think that this is a really good representation. Oh, I should mention at this point right now, since you're watching the replay of me doing all of this, that this is going to be a temporary foundation. We were talking about possibly putting it on a concrete slab, but we've ultimately decided with the change in temperature here in the Midwest, with all of the freezing and thawing and moisture and humidity, it would actually be better long term to put it on a gravel slab foundation on piers, pyramid piers, and then do like a mobile home skirting around it with a little one step up to the actual door. And what this will do is it will get the building off the ground. So all of that moisture that we get as the snow falls down and then melts, that should not affect it and should not shift things so much that we're getting cracks or damage to the shed. Oftentimes cement here cracks because the ground shifts so much. So doing the gravel route is going to allow for a little bit of wiggle room in terms of that. It's also going to be a lot cheaper than pouring a concrete slab. And even though we're going to be anchoring it like a mobile home, so with 6 anchors around the shed, we'll also put hurricane straps on it. Even though we're going to be anchoring it just like we would if it was on a concrete slab, which is considered a permanent foundation, it's anchored the same exact way, but for whatever reason, both the IRS for tax purposes and the county that we're in do not see it as a permanent structure. So that also means that we don't have to worry about permitting it. I did speak with somebody at the city office to confirm this, but since it won't be considered a permanent structure, even though it's just as permanent as a mobile home or any other thing that you would put on cement, we will not have to pay the like $200 that it is to get permitted and have to jump all of those hurdles. So really, it's a win-win-win either way. But anyways, I am done yapping about that. I just figured for some of you who are maybe interested in building your own shed, there are a couple of different solutions for foundation. But where I was going with that is that in my little mock-up here in The Sims, I did not elevate the shed, but just know that in real life, it will be up about a foot off the ground with just a very, very thin strip of mobile home skirting around it to keep critters and everything out from underneath the shed. And then we will, of course, do some pretty bushes and plants and flowers in front of it to hide that mobile home skirting. For the interior, I wanted to do a area that was like a cozy crochet hangout spot. I would really, really like to get into regular live streaming with you guys, doing crochet stuff at least once a week, maybe even twice a week. And I thought that it would be really nice to have a cozy couch area for me to sit on and do that, because I do not prefer to sit at a desk and crochet. I found it very, very uncomfortable. It hurts my neck and my arms and my wrists more than it does if I am lounging. So that is primarily what the couch is going to be for. And then the giant TV that you see me putting up in here, I scaled up in the game to mimic what I will be putting there, which is not a TV. It's going to be a projector screen, 100-inch projector screen. So that covers about 4 tiles. I think it was 4 or 5 tiles, which I did do the math, and that does equate to, in real life, like to scale, those being 2 feet per tile. And then right off to the right there, you see that I put a couple countertops as well as a refrigerator, and I can just keep some waters in there, maybe some of my favorite ice strawberry Starburst drinks. And then I'll also have some countertop space over there as well for any snacks. Maybe I could get a little popcorn machine, a countertop one of those old-fashioned popcorn machines. So that way, if I ever want to have a movie night or while I'm live streaming, we can make popcorn. It'll be a good time, but we'll have that big projector and a nice comfy couch in there and that little kitchenette area to really make it homey and cozy. And then the main reason why we were building this shed is obviously my work area and craft area. So there are a couple of requirements that I have to have in this shed and the entire reason that we're building it. So first and foremost, I need an area to work. And that is kind of two two in one, because firstly, I need an area to do actual computer work on, video editing when I work my seasonal job, which is standardized test scoring that I do in the springtime, just seasonally. That I have to have a place for my computer, and I do have two monitors. So ideally, I would like to have a corner to put my computer area in, or at least a wall, so that way I can mount my computers and have them on a solid wall and not have a window or anything behind my computer. So I did take that into account when I was figuring out where I wanted the windows to go. So I ultimately decided to go with this L-shaped desk, and what this gives me is twofold. Firstly, I will have that required spot for my computer slash working desk, but I also need a place for my crafting desk. In my current office, I do have two separate desks in different parts of the room, and this is a very small room, mind you. If you have never seen it, I might show it off partially in this video so you can see what I'm talking about later. But I do have a work desk and a crafting desk, and I utilize both like to the max. I'm constantly running out of room for places to put things between my crochet, between working on video stuff, between packing orders where I sell on my website and on Etsy, and making stickers and drawing art prints, and like all of it is just too much in this little tiny space. So having this great big L-shaped desk will provide me both the workplace and the craft workplace. And then I was thinking about maybe doing a window in the center of that back wall, which you'll see at the end of the speed run here. I put that window there so that way I have a little bit of light coming in from the back of the shed, but then on either side of that window I will be hanging a pegboard and maybe doing some shelving as well, just from all my little tchotchkes. And also, an artist can never have too many storage solutions, because I have all of my Cricut vinyl, I have all of my paints, I have all of my yarn, of course. And actually that brings me to the bookshelves, which you see now. It is kind of a disaster looking at the Sims mock-up, because this is not going to be aesthetically what it looks like. It's more, again, just as a placeholder to see the layout. So my plan is to do one of the half size bookshelves in the middle with my logo above it, similar to how I have in my current office. And then on either side, use two of the full size IKEA Billy bookshelves on either side. And this entire area is going to be my yarn storage, but it's also going to act as a backdrop for me filming my crochet content videos, which, if you're new here, that is the majority of my content here, is art stuff, primarily crochet, amigurumi, plushies, and all of that fun stuff. So I will be able to sit at my computer desk and just film, looking back at all of the beautiful aesthetic, rainbow, organized in Roy G. Biv order yarn wall. For the little living area, probably invest in like a nice plush soft rug for that warmth. But then in my craft area, just to kind of separate it as its own designated space, doing a rug that is just like super cheap from Amazon. I have not sourced any of these things yet, by the way, but doing just a cheap rug that if I get a stain on it, I'm not going to be heartbroken about, but still just creates that designated area off to the left side of the shed. In terms of the wall covering, so the shed is not going to come with drywall or anything like that. It's actually going to be built on site. It's being built by the Amish, which is really cool, but because they are a smaller company, they do not have the necessary tools to build on site with electrical. And since this project is going, like it is a necessity that it has electrical, what they have to do is build the entire shed at their warehouse and then ship it here. And by ship it, I mean drive it from a couple towns away. And they do offer free delivery, which is awesome, within a 50-mile radius. And we're within that. So they use what's called smart vinyl. However, it does not look as good as drywall. It almost looks like 1970s paneling to me. What I would like to do is cover that as much as possible. I would love to wallpaper this area, but not the entire thing. So the wallpaper that I have in my Sims mockup here is nothing like what it is going to look like in real life. I just could not find anything like what I wanted it to be in real life. The reason why I chose this wallpaper in the mock-up is because of that paneling, that board and batten at the bottom of the wall there. If you don't know what board and batten is, it is a type of wainscoting or wainscoting, however you say it, depending on your dialect. I would like to do that board and batten about halfway up the wall and then wallpaper the top. So that way it covers as much of that unsightly paneling that they're going to have put into this shed. For the wallpaper, I think I'm going to go with the same wallpaper that I have in my current office in my little desk nook area. It's a really, really pretty neutral wallpaper, but it has really soft clouds in it. And I love that. My brand is the Celestial Homebody, and I just love celestial things. I've always been drawn to suns and stars and moons and things just in imagery. And so I really like the idea of having the cloud wallpaper. And I really want to keep the main parts of this shed as neutral as possible and then bring in my personality and all of the pastel colors that I love with the decor. So that way, if we do ever end up changing this shed into something else like a guest house or a schoolroom or anything else that we could, a gym, I guess, it will still be flexible to work in all of those different situations as opposed to looking like Pepto-Bismol threw up all over the room because I painted everything pink, even though I would love that. I think for the bones of the structure, I want it to be as neutral as possible. And then, like I said, I can bring the pops of personality and color in with the decor. So I have been talking for so long at this point. You're probably so sick of looking at this footage and just listening to me talk. So the next time that you see me, I'll probably be going and turning in the application along with the exterior pictures of my little mock-up here. It is now October 7th. I am here back at the City Hall because tonight is the night that we're going to find out if the appeal for putting an additional accessory structure on our property, that application is getting approved or not. I think that the only reason why it wouldn't be approved is if one of our neighbors shows up to this and objects to us putting this on our property. But other than that, I think we have a good shot of it being approved. I don't know if I need to speak or anything. I mean, I look kind of ratchet today. I did throw on a dress at least. But it's very humid today. My hair looks like a rat's nest. But yeah, it's currently about 5:30 and the zoning board does not happen till 7:15. But they said that if they finish everything else early, then they're going to start it early. So I can't afford leaving and then missing just in case they do. I mean, I know that they need me here, but just in case they do need to ask questions or anything, I have to be present for this. Otherwise, we're going to have to pay another almost $400 to submit another application. So I'm just going to hang out. Fortunately, I brought my whips bag with me. So I brought some yarn to crochet a little bit. And then I also brought a book with me so I can read. I'm probably just going to sit outside until this thing starts. I think it starts officially at 6. So I'm here really early. Okay, I'm probably not going to record during it because I don't think that they're going to like that very much, but maybe I can at least get some audio for you so that you can hear on the spot if it's approved or not. Although, if you're watching this video, it means that it was approved. So this is kind of anticlimactic for you, but for me, I don't know if it's going to be approved or not. And I guess if you guys never see this video, then that means that it was denied. We're actually in a different room. Oh my gosh, this is so intimidating. Okay, that entire thing lasted all of 8 minutes. The entire meeting. It is pouring rain outside, so I had to stop till I got in the car. But that started with them saying our address, what we were seeking. They asked if anybody in the audience or if any neighbors had any objections. The actual city commissioner said that one of our neighbors had called to see what that letter was about that they received, but that said neighbor didn't have any objections to us doing the shed. I went up to the podium, which was terrifying, and they just asked me some clarifying questions about like the fence on the side of the yard and all of that stuff. And I answered their questions, and then just a few minutes later, they said, petition to approve this variance, and everybody agreed, and then they adjourned the meeting. So then the commissioner came up to me personally and was like, okay, you're good. So we're good. So tonight I am going to actually go online to the Shed Company website and play around with where like the doors and the windows are going to go specifically, because tomorrow I'm going to call the Shed Company and actually get the deposit in and get the order placed for it. And then I also need to call the electrician and the landscaper, who have already given us quotes, to schedule times to get the electrical done, because we need to run electrical from the house out to the location of the shed, as well as get a landscaper in to level the ground and pour the non-permanent foundation for the shed. So I have a lot to do tonight and over the next couple of days. I need to be crocheting, but it's officially official. Oh my gosh. What else? I feel like I was forgetting something. Oh yeah, so I had mocked up on The Sims, like where I wanted furniture and things like that. But when I call to place the order for the shed and put the deposit down, they will ask me like, you know, how many feet and inches from this side, this side, this side are the doors and the windows going to go, and all of that good stuff. So, oh my gosh, it is pouring. Can you guys hear the rain? Oh my goodness gracious. Sorry about the noise. So what I'm going to be doing tonight on the website is getting those specific like specs. And I have some furniture already in mind, so I'm going to be laying out those non-movable things like the door and the windows to fit my furniture. So, oh, and then I did call the shed people just the other day just to get an update on their processing time. So when we first started this process way back in like late June, July, early July, they were saying that the processing time to actually build the shed was 4 to 5 weeks. It is now 6 to 7 weeks, and that's going to put us in Thanksgiving week, in which they're going to be off. So now it's not looking like we'll actually get the shed delivered on property until late November, 1st of December at the latest, with that Thanksgiving break in there. So that is kind of a bummer that like we're putting it off. But in the meantime, we're gonna have to go to like IKEA and order things on Wayfair and all of that stuff. We'll get all the furniture ready to go and put together so that it's easy to move in. Although when we get the shed, we're going to need to put down like flooring, because it's not floored. Like it has walls and insulation and electrical, but the flooring is just gonna be like chipboard. So we're gonna need to go shopping for flooring. Okay, I'm getting way ahead of myself. We gotta get the order placed for it first. And of course, I'm taking you guys along the whole journey of picking out the flooring and the wall coverings and all of that stuff. So I'm gonna say goodbye to you for right now, and I don't know the next time I'll update you, but we got approved, yay! So this is what I'm thinking for the finalized floor plan. So the shed is 12 feet wide, 20 feet long. So I think the door we're going to have over here to the left. The house is over here. The garage is going to be over here. So if we put a window here, it's going to be, I think, looking just right into the garage, which isn't great, but I think that it makes the most sense putting it here with the layout of like all the furniture, and then putting the second window right in the center of the back right there, and then putting the other two windows in the front here. Now I need to play with the blueprint and see like where these are spaced, but nothing super special is happening over here in terms of furniture like it is with the desk where it would need to line up perfectly. We'll have the sectional right here, and then this is going to be like a buffet and a mini fridge. So these windows don't need to line up over any particular thing. I'll just ask them to put them evenly spaced a few feet apart, right in the center of the side. The only one that we really need to measure is this one, and then we need to measure the door from the wall. So here is going to be my giant L-shaped desk here. These are going to be from IKEA, and each one of these is like 100 and something inches. They're very, very long. This is my Cricut cart, which I already have. Like I said, this is the sectional, and this stuff over here is a little kitchenette. And then this is going to be 3 Billy bookcases from IKEA together to be my yarn storage. So this is what we're looking at in terms of furniture, and then maybe I'll do like a little coffee table or something. Oh, and then I'm gonna have a huge 100-inch projector that's gonna go like above the door right here, and then on movie nights we can pull that down. Maybe I'll put it off to the side a little bit to cover that window while it's down, but the projector screen is only going to be down, you know, while we're in there watching a movie or something like that. So this is the generic layout that we've got going on. So let's hop on to the website and do the blueprint. So excuse the porch. So this is the company that I'm going through, Raber. They are, I believe, Indiana based Amish company. But this is the site to lay out like the doors and the windows and everything like that. So on the website, they don't have the home office that I'm doing, the option to lay it out like this. So I'm having to use a different mock-up here with the porch, which we're not doing. It's just going to be 20 feet in length solid. So I just got off the phone with the rep from Raber, and she is going to give me a call back because she had some questions for the main office that I had asked her that she wasn't sure the answers to. So once she gives a call back, then we will get the deposit placed. And yeah, also this isn't like the exterior color or anything. This was literally just to see like how far apart I wanted the doors and the windows. So yeah, the door is going to be hung opening outward, an outswing, because I figured in the Midwest that is something good to have because our winds are crazy here and tornadoes and stuff. Outswing doors are very common here. You know, they don't blow in as easily with the high wind and rain and all of that good stuff. So the door is going to have an outswing. We're going to have the 2 windows on this side. On the back side of the shed, there's going to be no windows, but this is where that giant white vinyl fence is to our neighbors. So we're not going to have a lot of light coming in either, you know, anyway, with that fence there. And, you know, I don't really want windows right at our neighbor's yard. We'll do 1 window on the front, and this is going to go on my mock-up here. This is going to go right here over this desk. So I'll have nice natural light on this desk. This is probably going to be like my storage desk where I keep all my safety eyes and sticker printing stuff and printer and Cricut and all that good stuff. This probably is going to be my crafting desk with that natural light there where I actually make the things. And then the middle one, of course, will be my computer non-craft work desk. In my office now, I have 2 desks, and we call one the work desk and one the craft desk, even though they're both technically work. And then on this side, we will do 1 window just smack dab in the center. So that is going to be right here. So that window is going to be filtering light in through here. So hopefully as I'm sitting here recording, we've got the side lighting and this front lighting here, at least if it's during the daytime. So that'll be an ample amount of light. But anyways, I'm going to hop off for now and get that deposit placed. Deposit is made. It's official. So months after this process has started, it is now October 8th and the deposit is in. Hooray! So they're going to be sending over a blueprint to make sure, so that I can check off, make sure that all the door and the windows are where we want them. And then I have to draw in where all of the outlets, switches, sub panel box, and light fixtures are going to go. It doesn't come with light fixtures, but it comes wired for them. So we're going to need to buy light fixtures. And then we also need to put flooring in the shed. So like, it's not going to be like we can move the furniture in the day that we get it. We're going to have to do some work first. I also want to put wallpaper in it because it's going to have smart vinyl paneling. So it's going to be like 1970s paneling looking. It'll be white, I think, or just primed. But yeah. Oh, I did pay for the upgrade to do taller ceilings. So they're going to be almost 9-foot ceilings, which is important to me as a very tall person, because the standard ceiling is like 7 feet. And with a bun in my hair, that's only like 5 inches above my head. And I don't want to feel claustrophobic in my cozy work area. So it was an extra couple $100 to do the additional height, but I think it was worth it. But anyways, just wanted to hop on and let you know that I placed the order for our very first furniture for the shed. I want to look on Marketplace for a coffee table, a little side table, and then also some sort of like buffet credenza thing, because I want to do a little mini kitchenette area with a mini fridge and then a Keurig and like a buffet table, and then I want to just like paint it a cute color. So I'm going to keep my eyes peeled on Marketplace for those couple of things. I think pretty much all of the other furniture we're getting at IKEA, because the only other things that are going in there are going to be the desks, the desk chair I already have, and then the yarn storage, which I already have one Billy bookcase. So we just need to get 2 more Billy bookcases. And then that's pretty much it. I guess I could maybe get a rug for the craft area, but with glitter and epoxy and yarn fluff, do I really want to put a rug down? It would make it very cozy, but oh, that brings me to another thing. Is I was debating whether or not I wanted to do carpet or like laminate on the floor, and I feel like carpet would be a lot cozier for like the vibes. Plus in the winter, it is going to be actually freezing. If you did not know, I live in Indiana and it gets like -10 in the wintertime. So degrees, that is, Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is for all you Celsius people. It's cold. It's very cold, far below freezing. It's like the carpet would help warm it up in the winter time. But again, with all of the craft stuff, I don't think that carpet is the best option. So I think we're going to go with like a hardwood looking laminate, like just a cheap laminate. So that way, you know, if I stain the floor with some craft paint spills, etc., it's not the end of the world if I need to replace it down the line. And then in like the little living area where we're going to have the couch and the projector screen for movie nights, and the kitchenette area, in those areas I will do 1 rug. Okay, I'll check in with you whenever I check in with you next. So it's currently October 16th. And we have the landscaper coming tomorrow to lay down the gravel foundation. So we are measuring right now, Ryan in his Tokyo Racing Hello Kitty shirt, so that we can mark the ground, because they're going to be here very early in the morning. Okay, so they want it a foot bigger than the actual shed. So the shed's by 20 by 12, so we got to go 14 by 22. So this is 22 feet. So let's see what it looks like laid down. So we need to make sure that we're 10 feet from the back of the property, Ryan, because the ordinance says 10 feet from the back of the property, 5 feet from the side. That was the special variance that we got. Look at these sunflowers back here. We've got ivy growing up our garage. Okay, so 10 feet from the back. The spray paint doesn't have a cap on it.
Okay, well, I don't think we wanted it this
I don't think
far
we want it this far over either, so we should be good. Oh yeah, we got plenty of room. Okay.
We could take it all the way back here. Something a little bit for like.
All right, let's go ahead and mark 10 feet. Can you even see that in the grass? Okay, I think we need a brighter color.
Okay.
We have a whole collection of spray paint in the garage, and I just picked the one that we never ever use, so that's why I picked the gold. But Ryan's grabbing the orange. We're also gonna have the landscaper move this, or not move it, just get rid of it. It was a clothesline. Did I mention that in a previous clip? I don't know. This has been like 3 months of recording, so forgive me if I repeat things. But that clothesline needs to be moved. I don't know if they're going to dig it up or if they're just gonna like cut it off the ground. I don't know. But I don't think that we want to go this far back in the yard, honestly, because you remember my drawing, I'm going to have a window on the front side because the door is going to go open, you know, so that we can walk between the house and the garage up to the door of the shed. I'm going to have a window after that. And if we move it too far this way, then the garage is going to be blocking any natural light. So I don't know if we want to move it this far. That's better.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's 10 feet from the property line, which is like the max amount of room that we have to put it away. I mean, the minimum amount of room that we have to put it away. So then we got to mark 5 feet from the back, but I don't think that we actually need to mark that because we're going to butt the shed up to this line right here. So I don't know if we want to do something with this landscaping in here before the shed actually goes down. We'll probably just trim up the bushes and stuff back here. But yeah. All right, so we need 12 feet.
Plus 2 feet.
Yeah. Well, the actual structure has to be 5 feet.
No, you're right.
Yeah. The pad can be bigger, but the actual structure can't be closer than 5 feet to the fence. Okay, so slight problem. So we do think that these bushes are going to need to go because if they want the gravel pad to be a foot out, then we are 4 inches into that landscaping right there. So I'm going to talk with the landscaper and see what they want to do about that. If they need a full foot around the perimeter of the shed, or if we can get away with not having to take all of this up. I would like to not, because I think that it would be pretty to have the greenery in there. But at the same time, I don't know. I don't want it to get too wild and overgrown. So if we put the shed here, the door is about 3 feet in from the side. So that's right here. So at the door looking out, that's like perfect for walking up. I don't want to show you too much of our neighborhood. We don't need stalkers up in here. But that would still leave plenty of room walking up this way between the shed and then this bush. So like I was mentioning, I think a few months ago, we could do like an arbor or something here, or like a pergola that you could walk under. That'd be so pretty. But I think I like that location. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
That's good. Especially for the door. That's going to be the main thing to take into account.
Okay. All right, we've got it marked out. I did the entire perimeter. I don't know if they need that, but just in case. I'm getting high from the fumes. So this line right here is where like the shed's actually going to be located. Well, I will check in with you guys on Saturday when the landscaper's here, if I'm awake. All right, we have not seen the pad yet because the landscaper was here this morning. Wow, look at it. Wowza. Wait, that doesn't look that big. Is that 20 feet?
Wow.
There was that much of a grade on the side? Whoa, that's very compact. Wow.
I did see them, like, when I was up earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they had like almost looked like a floor sander, but like 4 standard size mixed with like a jackhammer that was like.
I did not realize that the yard was so uneven.
Yeah, I didn't either.
This is very compact. Like, yeah,
It's solid.
it's very solid. This does not look like 20 feet.
I mean, we can get the measuring tape.
Look, okay, so this is where the couch is gonna be. So I'm gonna be sitting right here on the couch, and then over there, Ryan, go pretend like you're sitting at the desk. It's gonna be over a little more. Yeah. Wow. This is okay. Maybe it is.
I don't know. In my head, I was still picturing it like really big, but then I'm like, what was I expecting from 12 by 20? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, it's done. Woohoo! Okay, it is now October 11th. They sent over the blueprint for where the windows and door is going to go in the shed, and they did do it incorrectly. So the door should be on this side of that window, on this side. So if you remember, the desk is going to go right here. That window is going to look over that desk jutting out, and then the two windows on the front here. These windows look fine on this side and this side, but the door was on the wrong side. So if the door was over here, this is the garage right here, where like these gray boxes are. So definitely can't have the door there, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to get in the shed. So the door goes on this side, and then I also asked if she could move it over a couple of inches actually, because I figure that if we have room right here between the door and this window, maybe we could do some sort of little furniture item here, something slender, because we're gonna have the desk jetting out here. So I don't want anything too bulky, because I want to be able to have like stools here. So maybe like a really slim, thin, like fireplace mantle or something fun right there. So I'm having the door moved over pretty much as it can go, while still giving myself room up here for the little kitchenette buffet thing. So I sent this back over to her at the shed company, and we'll see what she says. Once I get the redone drawing, then I will sign the papers. Well, hey there. It is now November 13th. It's been a while since I've checked in with you guys. I just had a major surgery 2 days ago, so my energy is a little bit low, but I need to do something today for the shed. So it has been 5 weeks since we put in the deposit, and they estimated 6 to 7 week production time, which means they must be getting close to finishing it. So what I need to do today is I have my handy dandy iPad here, where I need to draw in where I want all of the light switches and outlets to go, because they're going to get it all wired on or like in their factory. They can't do it here on site. So I need to get this emailed over to them so that way they can finish it up. It's looking like they're going to deliver it either like the week of Thanksgiving or the week after Thanksgiving. So it is coming up very soon. I'm so psyched for it. Here we have the blueprint here. This is the door right here. This is a window, this is a window, and then these two are windows. So let me just kind of draw out on here what the floor plan looks like. And I know that you've seen this before, but just so that I can gauge where like the electricity needs to be. So here's like a little credenza, or someplace like a snack bar, a little popcorn machine. Here we have the mini fridge. Then we're going to have the couch right here. And the couch takes up a good chunk of room. Beautiful couch. Kind of looks like a butt. And then this is the door, so we don't want anything over here. And then with the desk is going to be very long. So it's going to be like that. And then, oh yeah, we're doing a huge U-shaped desk. Isn't that what we agreed on? I think so. Okay, so we're going to hope that it lines up with this window right here. And we'll do that. And then we have our little chair here. It doesn't look like a chair. And then back here is where we have all of the yarn storage in the bookshelves. So this is obviously not to scale, but we got to figure out where we want those outlets. So I was thinking that maybe here next to this desk, we could have some little piece of furniture, like a little fake fireplace or something like that. And then remember, the projector screen is going to hang down over this entire wall and block both the window and the door when it's down and really create a cozy little space. Also, sorry about my voice. I was intubated for a few hours during surgery, so my throat is really scratchy and it hurts. So sorry, I sound like I've been smoking for 60 years. Okay, so let's go to a new layer. So the green is going to indicate where we want the outlets, and they can put them anywhere on the wall. So let's start over in the desk area. So we definitely need an outlet like here for the computer. And I gotta check how many outlets they allow us. Hang on, I have a note. Oh yeah, we also need to put in here where the light fixtures are going to go because they'll wire those too. Okay, so we get 12 to 14 outlets. So let's go ahead and utilize all 14, I guess. So we could do 2 outlets here. So we've got one for the desk and then, or one for my computer and then another one for, I don't know, miscellaneous. We might as well do 2 on this side too for like the Cricut and the printer. Do we need one over here? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we'll go right there. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 so far. And then do we want to do an outlet behind the bookshelves? I'm kind of leaning toward no because then I can't plug anything in because it's going to stick out. So maybe we'll do one like right here next to the bookshelf, but out of sight. So that way, if I want to put lights in the bookshelves, it's out of the way. You can't see the cord. We definitely want to do something around the couch. I was thinking, like, should we do sconces on the couch? Like around the couch? You know, like one on each side. Let's do 2 outlets here, and all of these are going to go low. And then we are also going to need a plug on the ceiling for the projector. And then we definitely need at least one over here for like the popcorn maker and the Keurig. And then this one is going to be a little bit higher. All of the other ones are going to be standard outlet, like on the floor height. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, well, let's go ahead and put one back here too behind the fridge. And one more over here. Maybe we could do like a little lamp or something next to the couch. And then I guess we could put one here too, like behind where the projector is going to go. And it will hide it if we have a piece of furniture right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, 12 to 14. I mean, should we throw a couple more in there just in case? Sure. I guess we will go behind the bookshelves. I don't know that we're actually going to use it, but at least it will be there. And you know what? Let's do an additional one on the desk since that is where I need to plug a lot of things in. So we'll do 3 over in the desk area. Those aren't really even, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Move that over a tad. That's fine. Okay, so now we need to do the light switches. So I think that it makes sense to do a light switch right here next to the door. And then maybe a light switch over in the desk area in case I want to make it like moody, you know? The only problem is that I don't know where I'm going to put the switch. Do I need 2 switches? I don't feel like I need it. I don't really want to have it on the wall as an eyesore. Okay, so then we need to mark in the sub panel box. So we'll make this pink. Get our little key here. So I'm thinking we do the sub panel box right here behind the door. So that way you can't really see it, and then it's just hidden out of sight everywhere else in the shed. So let's take the furniture off. So this is what we are looking like right now for all of the um, electrical stuff. So let's label this. This was panel box. My snapping is on, so it's like making the writing really hard to very like flexible, I guess you could say. Okay, so then we need to figure out where the light fixtures are going to go, and I think it's easy enough. I guess we'll do blue for these. It's easy enough just to put one on each like half, right, of the shed. I get between 2 and 4 light fixtures. So I'm thinking I really want to do like a chandelier like in the middle of the little living area. So maybe like that. It looks like it's pretty much right in front of the door. And then extra light over in my working area. So maybe one like right here and one right here. And this should allow for plenty of light while I'm filming. Let me redo this and get it inside of box. There we go. And then we have the option of doing one more. I guess we could do like over the little kitchenette area, or we could do it over here above the yarn storage. Maybe we'll do that. This half is going to be like so bright, and then this half is just going to be one lone chandelier, but I think that it's going to look nice. So we'll do like a little triad here, I guess, of lights. How does that look? It looks a little funky. I don't know that I like that. I feel like we should do 2 on each side. Or maybe we just 3. We do not have to do all 4. Like that? No, let's make these a little bit farther apart. Like that. Are they evenly spaced? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. Okay, so we've got to move this one over. Right there. Okay. I like that. You know what? Actually, we are going to do one more light over in my desk area. Since this is where I'm going to be sitting to film, I want to make sure that I have plenty of light shining on me, especially since the garage is right here. So not a ton of natural light is going to be coming in, even though there is a window right here. So there we go. So we've got a chandelier in like the living room area, like smack dab, although actually it's kind of off to the left a little bit. I'm okay with that though, being right there and not directly in the center, because I want to leave enough like walking room in here. So I'll probably push like the coffee table and the couch back as far as it can go. So I want the chandelier to hang over the coffee table. And then we've got one smack dab in the middle, one right here. This one will be good for illuminating the shelves. And then one more over my desk area so that I am nice and bright when I am sitting down to film. So the only other thing that we need to do now is decide where on the wall we want these outlets to be. So I'm thinking that all of them can go low, with the exception of like this one, like these 2 in the kitchen, because when I push the furniture up against them, I don't want those cords to get in the way and then not be able to push the furniture all the way up against it. So let me mark those. All right, this is our official blueprint. So I'm going to send this off. Oh yeah, I had forgotten about the ceiling outlet. So I took the one from behind the bookshelves and then hopefully they're able to put it on the ceiling. But it'll sit here between the two light fixtures and that is where we'll plug in the projector. The projector does not have to go right there. It just depends on where the screen gets hung because obviously we want the projector going straight to the screen. But I think that this is going to be a close enough location that the cord won't need to run far to plug in the projector. There she is. Looks so tiny all the way over there. All right, the shed is here. It is December 3rd. We got a snowfall, so you can't even see the pad. And because of our property, we are deciding how we want to get this thing in here because we're up against the alleyway. So he's got to go all the way around the alleyway and then back it in and then use like the hand truck. It's only the one guy who's going to unload this entire thing. And then he's going to go out from our side because he's going to be trapped in here. So, yeah, this is going to be something. He's here half an hour early. So Ryan, went up to Walmart and we were going to shovel this for him. I was literally in bed. So I'm still in my PJs and, in my snow-covered Crocs. 'Tis the season for Crocs in the snow. Fa la 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 la, my feet are wet. So he's bringing it all the way around. Oh my goodness. I think he's gonna lay those out for us too, onto the gravel pad here. Also, look at all these little critter tracks in the snow. They could be from cats. I don't know what walks in a completely straight line like that. I guess it could be cats. Or we do have a possum who lives nearby. I don't know how he's gonna even see where this thing is going. We need to shovel off the entire pad. Look at hubby out there shoveling the snow for the shed people. I'm inside trying to put the baby down to bed. So I can't be outside getting B-roll, but I asked Ryan to do it for me. But there they are, they're backing it up. Looks like you got the perimeter cleared. Sorry about the screen. There's the delivery guy. Oh, okay, it looks like the truck is now empty. So he must be unloading the rest of it with the little hand truck. Ryan's out there with him and I asked him to get some B-roll. Oh my gosh, the windows are so dirty from all the salt and everything. But I asked Ryan to get some B-roll for us while, oh look, there's the back of me. While I am inside with the baby. So I'll put that footage somewhere in here and hopefully he doesn't let us down and actually is able to get some. I gotta put on chapstick, yikes.
Oh, now he's around on the backside. Maybe you can see him through the windows. There are these two little, like roller wheels that I think he's sliding it on essentially and navigating it on from the backside. Beep, beep, beep. There's no beep beeps on this. I feel like that's an OSHA violation. Alright, so I'm assuming Katie explained this at some point in the video, but the property line to the structure has to be about 5 feet, or sorry, has to be 5 feet according to the variance we applied for, and we're at like 4 feet, like 8 inches, so he's gonna try scooting it over just a couple more inches that way. So that's where we're at now. Alright, now we're a little bit too far over, so I think he's angling him back towards the fence just slightly.
So he did say that we lost a couple shingles on the drive, but he's got stuff to repair it. So that's good. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it that it's finally here. Oh my gosh, I want to go outside so badly and go see. You know what? We're going to do it. He's putting the thingamabobs under. Look at the little rollers. That's so cool. This is one guy just putting this here. Cool. He's gonna hop up on the roof and repair some things. It's so cute. See the insulation hanging out below. This is fascinating watching him work. He just lifted it up. I think he's getting it into place first before putting the concrete blocks down. Yeah, see, because of all the snow, we want the moisture to not get trapped underneath there. That would be a nightmare if he set the shed down and then just left it. We need it elevated to allow the good old Midwest humidity and rainfall and snow to be able to evaporate from underneath there. I am dying to see the inside. Oh my gosh, I want to go take a sneaky peeky. Ryan said he's gonna. Oh, never mind, he's moving it. How's it look? Empty? Does it look big on the inside?
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like just like a smooth plywood, like for the flooring. It almost looks like drywall, like for the actual.
Really? I thought it was gonna have the little vertical slants. All right, well, he's doing this. I'm gonna go inside, and then once he gets everything repaired, then we'll come out and do the grand reveal. Woohoo! The papers are signed. It's officially ours. So we got a ramp. Okay. Oh my gosh, it smells like a new house. Wow. Okay, so the ceiling is like metal. Wasn't expecting that. Also, this is gonna be a problem. Oh no, it's just water. It's just water. Okay, I thought it was like glue on the ground and I was like, oh no. Wow, it feels like a little mobile home. Ah! Okay, I mean, the walls definitely aren't super cute.
Yeah, they are more textured than I originally thought.
Well, it's nice and warm in here right now. I mean, it is insulated. So I had them put the outlet on the ceiling right here. That's for the projector, which will go right here. Wow. I mean, like the trim work, doesn't look finished, but I think once I get like the wallpaper up and then it painted, we can, paint all that. Here's my little sub panel box. Oh, geez. We got 3 breakers in there. So we actually need to call, what the heck?
You just gotta push it.
I thought I broke it. So we just need to call the electrician to come get it actually installed. In terms of like the entire shed needs to be hooked up. And then we've got windows over here. So I've got a nice little view of the garden in the springtime. And then this is where my little kitchenette is going to go. So we've got a cute little view of my house. So the fridge will go here. It might block the window a little bit because I was originally thinking about putting the fridge in the middle, but I think we're gonna go to this side. I mean, it is gonna block the breaker box though, so we'll figure it out. And then we'll have the little kitchenette here. And then this is where the couch will go and the projector will go up there. And then over here, we'll have the 3 Billy bookcases with all of my yarn storage. I have them not put any outlets here because they'll all be blocked and it's just gonna be bookshelves. Then we're gonna have a desk here, and then a desk coming out this way. So we did get a ramp. This is just temporary until we're able to get skirting on this, as well as a step. We just weren't sure how tall the door would be, so we didn't want to pre-buy that. And this is a lot easier to walk up versus stepping way up on that thing. As you can see, he did anchor this, so it should be good for the storms. This is pretty darn steep though, I will say. So here is the manufacturer, Raber Portable Storage Barns. I don't know where they like ship to. I know that they're located in Amish country here in Indiana. I think that they might go to Pennsylvania and Illinois, but I doubt that they go any farther than that. We definitely have some cleaning to do because a lot of these parts were in storage, and before we lay the flooring down, I'll come in and vacuum. We'll let all of this moisture evaporate in here. Look at the little keys. I did actually get a fancy doorknob that's like a fingerprint, but I didn't realize that it would already have a lock on it. So I might return that to Amazon because I'm just fine with the lock. Can't believe it's here. This outlet over here, I had them put higher on the wall because that is where I will plug in all of my computer stuff. It actually probably could have gone a little bit over now that I'm looking at it, but that's okay. Just so that way I don't have all my computer cords and everything hanging down below the desk. But these outlets over here are for like my printer and my Cricut and lights and all of that jazz. And then we've got 2 GFC eyes, one right there and one right there. Ryan is on the phone right now in the house, trying to schedule with the electrician when they're going to come actually hook the space up to our main panel in the house. So for right now, there's not much that I can do in here because it gets dark so early. I'm going to lose daylight. Plus I want to let all of this stuff dry before I come and work in here. Well, I guess it really doesn't matter. I guess we should probably get the wallpaper and the painting done before we even touch the floor. Yeah, that way if I spill paint or whatever, it's not a big deal since it's all getting covered. So maybe I'll come out and do a little bit of work today, but that's gonna be in another episode. Whoa, look at how white it is out here today. And it's actively snowing. But I'm coming out here because I wanted to point something out to you guys. Oh my gosh, I cannot see where I'm going. It's so deep. That's what she said. Earlier in the video, I had mentioned that the door is going to open outwards. And as you can see, it opens inwards. Gosh, it's actually so warm in here. Yeah, not bad. Wow. Okay. So 2 reasons why we need the door to open the other direction, because right now it opens in. Firstly, we're going to have the refrigerator right there and the kitchenette, as I've mentioned multiple times. And so we don't want that door to like swing open and like bang up the fridge or the furniture behind. But the main reason why we want it to open outwards, I mentioned this earlier, is that because we have such high winds here in the Midwest USA with, you know, severe weather, as you can see, it is powdery out there today. When winds blow, we want the door frame to be on the inside. If you live in like a desert climate, then all of your doors probably open inward like this. But if you live in like the East Coast of the United States, like in Florida, I know is like the first time I saw doors opening the other direction. It's because this door frame here adds a little bit of extra push. So if the wind blows, you get a hurricane or a tornado or something like that, you have this door frame here as like an extra support. But without the door frame on this side, a gust of wind blows, it can easily blow that door open, get wind inside of here and lift the entire thing up. So anyways, short story long, I've already contacted the manufacturer and they are going to schedule a time to come out and replace the door. This has been such a long time in the making. I mean, when we started this video was back in July, just months ago. And like now having it here on property is like just so incredible and amazing, but I'm also overwhelmed with all of this stuff that I have to do in order to get this how I want it and how it's going to be functional for me. So in terms of like AC and heating, I have a portable AC unit that will go in here in the summer, and then it is insulated. It's honestly not cold in here. I mean, I know that it was just delivered and it has not been sitting outside for a long time, but I think the insulation really is going to help keep the cold air in as well as the warm air. But in terms of heat, I got a little electric fireplace to put right here next to the door. It's just like a little itty bitty one right there. We've got a GFCI outlet down there for that. And then during the summertime, I will take that out, and that is where the portable AC unit will go to keep everything comfortable in here. So in the next episode of the She Shed Journey, we are going to be going shopping for everything that is going in the shed in terms of decor and furniture, and it's going to be an absolute blast. And then of course, the next episode after that is going to be actually decorating and moving everything in. And then the final episode in this series is going to be a full shed art studio craft room hangout spot tour. So I hope that you stay along for the journey. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you are not already subscribed and are excited to follow along the She Shed's lifespan. And also hit that thumbs up button while you're down below the video, and that lets me know that you enjoyed this very long video over 6 months of filming. And thank you all for being here every step of the way. And before I forget, endless thanks to the members in the Cosmic Couch Club. You guys keep this little galaxy spinning, and is with your support in part that I was able to get my shed. So thank you so, so much. I love you all. Thank you again for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye-bye.